This month, we have information from recent Pew surveys about the religious beliefs and practices of Muslims and their thoughts on ISIS. Like any religious group, the religious beliefs and practices of Muslims vary depending on many factors, including where in the world they live. But Muslims around the world are almost universally united by a belief in one God and the Prophet Muhammad. And the practices of certain religious rituals, such as fasting during Ramadan, is widespread. In other areas, however, there is less unity. For instance, a Pew Research Center survey of Muslims in 39 countries asked Muslims whether they want Sharia law, a legal code based on the Quran and other Islamic scriptures, to be the official law of the land in their country. Responses on this question vary widely. Nearly all Muslims in Afghanistan, 99%, and most in Iraq at 91%, and Pakistan at 84%, support Sharia law as official law. But in some other countries, especially in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, including Turkey at just 12%, Kazakhstan at 10%, and Azerbaijan at 8%, relatively few favor the implementation of Sharia law. In terms of how Muslims feel about groups such as ISIS, recent surveys show that most people in several countries with significant Muslim populations have an unfavorable view of ISIS, including virtually all respondents in Lebanon and 94% in Jordan. Relatively small shares say they see ISIS favorably. In some countries, considerable portions of the population do not offer an opinion about ISIS, including a 62% majority of Pakistanis. Favorable views of ISIS are somewhat higher in Nigeria at 14% than most other nations. The Nigerian militant group Boko Haram, which has been conducting a terrorist campaign in the country for years, has sworn allegiance to ISIS. More generally, Muslims mostly say that suicide bombings and other forms of violence against civilians in the name of Islam are really or never justified, including 92% in Indonesia and 91% in Iraq. In many cases, people in countries with large Muslim populations are as concerned as Western nations about the threat of Islamic extremism and have become increasingly concerned in recent years.